Yo, what's good, man? So, Henry fucking Cen, Golden Cen, 101. Oh my God, man! Like, I'm a big fan. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, I mean, at least you're showing gratitude. So, but so you're welcome. But anyways, man, we got the one and only Henry Cen, man. Like, the owner of Next Level. Man, he's like he's actually the founding member, one of the founding members of the FGC. When you think about it, when did you join the FC? Like, when did you start traveling for tournaments?
I think I was like 16.
16. So we're going like
quite a while.
Like 96, 7, 96, 96. Oh man, 96.
Take care.
Guys, take care, guys.
That was when I went on 8 on the break. You know.
Oh man. So let's talk. You know what? I don't even know where to begin, but I think we should begin on that. Like, we should begin on. Goddamn, dude. We should begin on like the beginnings, right? So, well, when did you start playing fighting games? Like,
I started playing fighting games when I was very young already. I think I was like 12.
Were you at an arcade?
Yeah, I was at Chinatown Fair. I was at the local pizza places also, especially one called Pizza Palace.
Pizza Palace?
Yeah, Pizza Palace.
That's it's in the city, right?
Yeah, it's in the city. It's right by the Columbus Park.
I heard so many stories. So many good stories. So many bad stories. But I've heard stories. Same thing with CF.
There's a lot of stories.
A lot of stories, man. But we're not even going to talk about that, because if that's the case, that's going to use up all of my SD memory. Mm-hmm. So probably more than that. Maybe like 3 of them.
But those were the locals.
Yeah, man. Those were the locals, and it was like a word of mouth thing at the time, right? It was like, yo, this guy is good. We should go out there, something like that.
I didn't really care. When I first started playing fighting games, I was just going to places just to play and hang out, not really to like get good at the game.
Oh.
And I was just a casual player back then. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
So when did you start like taking it more seriously and getting into the competitive side of things?
I started getting more serious when I met Ojeb, my friend that used to come to, still my friend, but you know, he used to go to Chinatown Fair and play a lot. And we used to be at the late hours at night from like 8 p.m. to like 10 p.m. And we used to play Street Fighter 3 a lot. And he's the first person to actually bring one of those Bradley guides to the arcade. He brought like this guide back then to the arcade about Third Strike, and he really wanted to get good at Street Fighter 3.
Wow, man.
And that's the time when Eddie Lee came also to play, and at nighttime it was like 8 p.m. we would start playing, because I usually get off work at like 9 p.m. at Chinatown Fair, passing out change. I will work very slowly and briefly at Chinatown Fair. I like sweep the floor, clean up the place from like 8 or sometimes 7:30
Wait,
until 9.
Hold on. Let's go back for a second. When did you start? How did you came about working for Chinatown Fair? Like, how did that came about?
Well, it came about because I asked Sam if I could clean up the place to make a couple of dollars, you know, and Sam would be like, I'll pay you $5 back then. It was good money back then, $5 to like clean up the store, mop the floor, take out the garbage and stuff.
How old were you at the time?
I was like 16.
Okay.
16, I was just.
And then you use that money to tokens, I'm pretty sure, right? And
no, there weren't tokens back then. It was still quarters, though.
Oh, so but you use that money to play the games, right?
A few. But most of the time, I would buy like a dinner back then. Because you buy a meal back then, it cost only $3.
Okay.
So we get like a beef and broccoli, you know, something along those lines,
okay.
You know, some meal that costs $3, and then say I have $2 left, I'll just put back in the arcade machine. Bad idea though.
That's what's up. All right. So, so you was just working as a cleaning, and then like when did you start like becoming like more, I guess, full time? Like when did you start?
Well, it wasn't
graduating?
really full time. That was during like the summer when I used to pass out change, and that would be from 5 p.m. till closing, which is usually like 11 p.m. back then, and then Saturday and Sundays it would be like around midnight.
Oh, okay.
And
so
that was only a summer
only work
job.
on nights and weekends for the most part?
It was basically Monday to Fridays.
Oh, okay.
There during the summer.
Okay.
And then what I found out was when I was 16, the arcade machines used to break a lot, and the repair guy oddly only used to come on Saturdays or Sundays, and he would only come to repair the games. But if the game broke on Mondays, you would have to wait 5 days in order for the game. That made no sense to me. So, you know, I told Sam I would watch the guy, Tony, repair. I would learn some stuff, and, you know, I try to fix the games myself. So, because, you know, I want to play the games.
Okay. That's what's up, man. Damn, man. So, man, so, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, working at, like, where you was working at CF, like, you started seeing, like, all the best players to come in, and then, like, did that help you, like, improve your skill? Like, did that?
Nah, you should just pass out change and observe people play, you know? And I always think, like, why did they do that and not over another different option that they could have done, you know? So I gradually just observe and watch. That's how it got good.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, and then I would ask people. We would have like discussions and stuff. Why this wasn't good? Why that was a better option? So we just have long talks and stuff at the arcade.
Oh, man.
Long talks, long discussion, which usually end in playing a game. You know, you got to prove it. You can't just theorize it, right? You got to prove it.
Okay. So, all right. Well, what made you start? All right. So, when did you meet Eddie? How long? I know you know Eddie. Like,
I met Eddie when I was 16. He came at the arcade.
Okay, so you did came at the arcade.
When Street Fighter 3 came out.
Okay. Was he like? How good was he? When he came in? Like, how good was he?
He was definitely a scrub when he first came in. He wasn't that great.
You was beating him all the time?
Oh, definitely I was beating him because I was playing since I was 12 already, so I was playing a long time, but he was pretty good already.
Okay.
And I mean, I was playing with like Flash G back then, a lot of other old school players, and a couple of my other friends that we used to see a lot at the arcade.
Okay.
So we used to play a lot already, but we try to keep it to a bare minimum. Just think of stuff before you play, because that money was real back then. You know, trying to save those dollars.
Yeah, I know back then, because you know I wasn't really making. It was like no major tournaments, right? Or money matches happening.
No,
right? It was just playing.
No money matches.
Yeah,
no. It's all for pride.
It's all pride, right? So, what made you start traveling? Like, let's say your first technically out of state event that you went to, tournament that you went to, was 8 on Break, right?
Yeah, 8 on Break. It was because of Alex Criminal.
Okay.
He bought. Funny enough, he said he bought New Jersey's champion to play at Chinatown Fair. His name was John Crespo at that time, and I thought Crespo was like okay only. I remember me and Eddie beat him like really bad.
How did you first hear about him? Was he like...
No, because Alex K told us. He said he was one of the best players in Jersey, but I didn't believe that.
Okay.
But we beat him a lot, and he broke the Chinatown Fair stool.
Really?
He was mad. Yeah, he was very mad.
Oh man, I mean, you know what? The salt, man. It can go
real.
It's real, man. It can go from way back in the day.
We didn't say salt back then, you know.
Yeah. What was the terminology?
Oh, we just say tight, you know.
Oh yeah. Tight's fine. Yeah.
No, we just say
that's a New York word.
You know?
Yep.
That's a New York word. Yeah. We didn't say salty until like the early 2000s. You know, that started catching ground. You know.
Okay. So, all right. So. Let's fast forward, because I want to talk about Marvel and how, like, you know, because Chinatown, it was probably like the most influenced because of Marvel. You know, Marvel, that's when like the name started ringing out because of the Marvel. So Marvel 2 came out, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how crazy was it when when you guys first got it?
It was pretty crazy. There was a lot of players that came to play Marvel 2.
Wow.
We had 2 machines at Chinatown Fair, and they were always active. Always people playing Marvel. I mean, at the first 2 months, it wasn't that popular, but then it became super popular. I mean, like, then people had to wait to play.
Wow, man.
When it first came out, there was a lot of people playing, but it wasn't like people were waiting to play. But then afterwards, like a month or two in, people were waiting to play.
Okay.
And a lot of good players were already playing from the MVC 1 scene, and they were already playing Marvel 2.
Okay.
And basically, they transitioned over from MVC 1 to MVC 2. But of course, MVC 2 was much more broken than people expected it to be.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, of course, when the game progressing. So speaking of Marvel 1, that's when like Art used to show up during that time.
It was Art and Eddie Lee. Were like part of the most prominent players back then in the city.
Liston, Wickfall, it was those guys.
Liston, Wickfall, Mike D.
Oh, I remember Mike D. Yeah.
There's a lot of players at that time.
Okay.
But there's was a lot of local players that played too, but they were kind of bad. I mean, Sanford was there too, but Sanford was just watching back then. He didn't play a lot.